Gary Parrish. Welcome back to CBS Sports Eye on College Basketball Podcast, where we sometimes discuss camel fighting, dodo birds, and leaky black. Matt Norlander is here with me. If you're watching on YouTube, you know what to do to that like button. Shouts to Brandon Davies. And if you haven't yet subscribed to the CBS Sports College Basketball YouTube channel, please also do that while you're here. Let's get into it. What we hoped would be true is now official. The NCAA Tournament will not expand beyond 68 teams, at least as it pertains to the 2025-26 season. NCAA Senior VP Dan Gavitt released a statement detailing the decision earlier today after committee meetings in both Savannah, Georgia, and Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He made it clear that discussions will continue in connection to the 2027 NCAA Tournament and beyond, but for now, at least, things will remain the same. Norlander, your thoughts?
Come right off of vacation, and here we are. It's great to see you, GP.
Good to
it's well timed. I mean, I spent last week in Ocean City, New Jersey. Good family spot. Had a good time there. But if this broke at like Thursday afternoon, I just don't think you could. I would have been on the beach at that point. So it's well timed. I appreciate the NCAA and the selection committee is actually accommodating our podcast schedule beyond all else. Let's hit on a few things here. This isn't a surprise in this regard. If I go back like to last fall, even the I think the March prior, I remember talking to Dan Gavitt and at that. So yeah, let's go back to like March of 24 and wondering if we'd get an answer in the spring of 24, if that was going to happen, expand or no expansion. What's our timeline here? I remember hearing at that point, like it's got to be April. Okay. And then that didn't happen. And then we went through the summer of last year and they didn't have a decision. There was no updates and we went through it. So then last fall, it was like, well, if we're going to do this again, it's kind of got to be April. And then it got moved from April to the spring. And then the spring became, it's got to be July. And then nothing came and happened in July. And so when we did not have, as anticipated, any kind of determination a little less than a month ago, I believe then and there that at least the 2026 NCAA tournament would stay at 68 teams, which that became official today. We're just too far along. It's a calendar creep at this point. So this is a win. I am unsettled by just the fact that this is what they have reduced me to. This is what they've reduced us to. Like we get maybe one more year of a 68 team turn. Like, Nada, if you want, bring up the quote tweets. I put out this story shortly before the official announcement went out, and it's nothing but it's praise, it's hosannas, it's hallelujahs, it's thank the Lords, it's shouts to Dana O'Neill, who did such an amazing job as a reporter for so long and now works in connection with Villanova. She put out the Elaine Benes dancing gif and all this stuff, and I agree entirely with that. But it's assurance of what this is what they had pushed us to the brink of. Just this fear that they would expand it as early as 2026 and we'd never even get one more 68 team tournament. So now it's just one more year. I hope it's more and I can share more of what I have at this point, but you can see it if you're watching it. Dana, oh man, Michelle. But yes, like Chris Hassel at CBS Sports HQ. Thank the Lord. Up and down. It's nothing but, and I really do hope that the selection committee, like, and I do believe this, like most of these conference commissioners and athletic directors, like they're on Twitter. They see all of this. They know how widely unpopular this idea is. And so even the news release of it staying put for one more year, if they see just how popular this is, maybe we still have a chance, maybe. But the statement said, expanding to 72 or 76 still remains on the table for 2027 and moving forward. We'll get to that in just a second, but not surprised by the decision today. And happy to see it for at least one more year. We get the tournament as it should be.
I assume they'll sneak it through at some point. Like I assume one day we will watch a 76 team NCAA tournament. And like I've said before, I don't need it. I don't think it's necessary. If you put it up to vote, I would vote against it. It is also not the thing that I think is going to quote kill the sport or ruin the sport. We've expanded basically every sport any of us follow in our lifetimes. And at least to my knowledge, none of them have been killed. NFL is bigger and better than ever. I think people still watch the World Cup. I love Major League Baseball playoffs. the NBA playoffs, yeah, they last forever, but it's something
They
to do.
do actually. Hold on, NBA playoffs last too long. Let's be real. No one needs that. Like, does anyone want a 7-game? This is part of what the issue I have. No one wants a 7-game first round NBA series. Like, they don't need that. We know why they do it. It's because of money. All of this is because of money, and the reason why this has taken more than 3 years, Parrish, is because they don't have the money. At least they don't have it yet. They're trying to get it. They don't have it yet, and so I'll just toss this in. This is in my story here. I was told by sources that at this point, it's either stay at 68 or go to 76.
Right.
72 is still officially on the table. It's still part of the company line, if you will, 68, 72, or 76. But I've been told that it's either you expand this thing and you really expand it significantly by 8 more teams, or you stay at 68. 72 is just not seen. Whereas like a month ago, Parrish, I actually thought that's where we were headed. Like, okay, they want to go to 76. They see how massively unpopular this is. And so maybe there's some sort of compromise if certain folks are hell-bent on making it happen, and there's others that would prefer to stay at 68. Maybe they come to a compromise of 72. But I'm told that is the long shot now. It's either 76 or 68. And now that they've no 26 is off the table, they'll step away. They'll convene again in a few months and figure out what they're going to do, and whether 27 is the year they want to do it, 28, 29, who knows. The media rights deal, by the way, is also tied up in this to a certain extent. That goes all the way into the early 2030s. So who's to say whether or not this lasts until then? But anyway, I jumped in and I apologize.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I agree with the sentiment that the NBA playoffs might be too long. And though I think it was a rhetorical question that you asked, I'll answer it honestly. Who needs a 7-game series in the first round of the NBA playoffs? Not me if it's against the Oklahoma City Thunder and John Moran is injured. Exactly. Definitely not me.
You just lived that.
I just lived it. Didn't need to see any more than 4. All right. If you'd have made that best of 1, I'd have been okay with it. I knew where that thing was going the whole time.
We love the best of 1 here on the pod. Yes.
I would just I wouldn't have minded a best of 1 and get on with the offseason there. But broadly speaking, my point is that expansion has not killed anything that we care about. And I don't think college basketball, whenever we get to further expansion, will be the thing that dies first. Again, though, I don't need it. I don't want it. I don't think it's good for the sport. And so from a just decision-making process, this seems, and I don't want to oversimplify it, so push back if you want, but in the simplest way, if what you're trying to do or considering doing is wildly unpopular with people who follow your sport, and it's also not obviously going to make you a lot of money. Like, one reason to do things that are wildly unpopular sometimes is because they're incredibly lucrative. So I get that. That's the American way. But it's not clear that this is going to be incredibly lucrative or even profitable.
Right.
And so if it's not going to be incredibly lucrative, or at least you can't guarantee that, and it's not popular, and you're up against a calendar crunch, punting this down the road is the only, like, quite literally the only sensible thing to do until you have a better grasp about what you're trying to do and how you're going to go about doing it. So not surprised that they punted this. I'm not surprised that they're leaving the window open in years beyond. And I guess on some level, I expect it to happen someday. But from my perspective, every year that we put it off is a good year. So I'll take this as a victory, small as it is.
Yeah, I agree with you. Every year it's put off is a good year. And I'm going to just repeat what I said before, because I would also hope, not that I know, and who knows, I would hope that at least 1 or 2 folks that were in the room on Monday, in the Zoom, so to speak, listen to this show at some point whenever they get to it, and have, a real well-rounded viewpoint of why the tournament is beloved the way it is. There's also just other stuff. Like, I was talking with someone about a week and a half ago. It's things that aren't really seen right now or talked about now, but if we go to a 76-team tournament, like, do you realize how bad the teams are that are going to be on the cut line? Yes. Like, do you realize? And just, I guess this is an annoyance to me as much as anything else, and I think maybe you can identify with this a little bit, buddy, as well, because you get sometimes annoyed by just when we have certain things in place or systems in place, and then something comes along and makes what we used to have moot or irrelevant for no good reason. Like that's
I'll tell you I'll continue, but I'll tell you my favorite one, which might be my least favorite
first,
one.
And then I'll say what I'm going to say. What is it?
I hate it when fans or coaches or anybody say things about, well, he's won 20 games 3 years in a row. Like winning 20 games means nothing. When I was a kid,
yes,
like in the mid 80s, winning 20 games might actually mean something. In fact, I can remember like it was like, and every team that wins at least X amount of games like makes things that 20 game thing gets brought up still randomly. Like, well, I mean, I don't know what the problem is with it. Why people are unhappy. The guy's won 20 games 4 of the past 5 years. Well, winning 20 games also has you losing like 13 in some year, you know, like winning 20 games means nothing. So that's an example. We moved the bar, something that used to sound good and actually be an accomplishment just isn't anymore. And yet people still sometimes try to talk about it like it's 1985.
Yeah, coaches will often even invoke the 20 win thing. 20 wins just doesn't mean that much, sadly. It doesn't. It meant something like 25 years ago because it generally did with the size of the season. That doesn't matter. But, you know, the past 40 plus years of determining, you know, what makes for even a halfway decent resume to maybe get in the tournament, like that goes away. Like all this precedent of like, this is the small stuff, but sorry, the small stuff means something to me. Like here's the team with the most losses, and here's the team with the worst net or the best net not to get in. Like these benchmarks that occasionally get moved because we have extreme cases where a team will be either they'll be prejudiced against them and they won't get in, or they'll get in despite some bad numbers. That now all goes out the window. If and when they decide to go 76, whenever that is, a year from now, 10 years from now, everything that we have to assemble the tournament, it just starts over. And to me, I'm sorry, in addition to it not being necessary, that's also highly annoying to me. And I'm just telling you, the teams that like the team that would be 77 in this model, right? That doesn't get in, you would be stunned if you actually teased out the math last year, the year before that. Those teams aren't even on Bracket Matrix. The resumes would shock you how bad they are. And I'm going to read a direct quote from Charlie Baker that he gave last month when he was speaking at the National Press Club in Washington, D.C. He said, quote, "There are every year some really good teams that don't get into the tournament for a bunch of reasons. One of the reasons they don't get in is because we have 32 automatic qualifiers. There are 32 conferences in D1, and their conference champion gets into the tournament. Now, I love that. I think it's great, and I never want that to change. But that means there's only 36 slots for everybody else, and in many cases, there are teams that are among the 50 or 60 best teams in the country," end quote. Charlie, you've been listening to the Power Conference commissioners way too much. I'm sorry, but while I know there have been some cases, and they're fun cases, where you've had VCU and UCLA make the Final Four from the first four, and that's been fine. That's been great. Those are good stories. There are not teams being left out of the tournament that are capable of winning the national championship, of making it to the national championship game. And if you really went down and did the percentage-wise, the teams that even squeak in and make the first four, period, those teams are better than the ones that you're keeping out. So the ones you're keeping out, theoretically, aren't going to be any more successful, certainly over a period of time. And I just don't buy this. You have plenty of the teams that get in already. Like this has become an annual rite of passage. It's a bitch session almost every single year when we get to March 7th. And it's like, good God, the bubble. It's like you're disgusted by it after you and I have to write about it, talk about it when we're doing all this. But after weeks of culmination leading up to the conference championships, we're thoroughly offended by these teams. And the idea now that those teams that are just barely getting in will now be able to kick back their feet and essentially, and I know you said it won't ruin the sport. I agree with you. It won't ruin the sport, but don't underestimate the idea that in the final 2 weeks before Selection Sunday, you will have a variety of teams that comfortably project into the bracket and are playing thoroughly uninspired basketball, and that will not generate interest. It will not generate intrigue. Right now, I think we do truly have a very special balance of a big enough tournament for enough teams, and you can even be and still get in, versus expanding that even more and just making it way more of a free-for-all and turning it into this ramp-up where it just doesn't carry a lot of urgency because it's a 76-team tournament, in addition to how that affects the start of the season, where even if we have interesting matchups, I think your casual sports fan, the kind of fan who, as much as I'd love to believe it isn't happening, isn't tuning into an August 4th off-season college basketball podcast, if they know that there's a 76-team tournament, on some level, inherently, they're not going to be drawn to say, why am I going to watch this November 14th game? Okay, it's against the number 8 team against the number 26 team or 24 team in the poll. Sure, but these teams are probably going to make the tournament anyway. I do think that there are downstream effects when it comes to that, and it really would impact the urgency and relevancy of the regular season.
There clearly are, and I want to respond to all of that. Before we get too deep into it, let's pay some bills real quick. Let's get a word from our partners.
When you need your sports news all the time,
we've got breaking news to bring to you.
CBS Sports HQ gives you a snapshot of all the sports that matter to you. When you need your sports in a snap, find it on CBS Sports HQ, streaming free anywhere you are.
Okay, so a lot to unpack there. I agree with you. It does impact the regular season. It just does. And I think there's a sliding scale on this in the sense that expanding the NCAA tournament at this point devalues the college basketball season, whereas I don't think expanding the college football playoff in the ways that we have devalued the regular season. I actually think it's enhanced the regular season because somebody who lives in the South and follows college football, every day during the fall, I can tell you that in the BCS era and even in the 14 playoff era, there were times where it was like, man, this team's pretty good. They're 11th in the country. They've got 3 games left, and it's over for them. We already know it's over for them. They can't get there. And that's like, if you just had more spots available, which now you do, that team that's ranked 11th in the country with 3 games left, they've got everything to play for now, as opposed to nothing. Expansion has helped the college football playoff in recent years. Now, if you keep expanding, we will get to a point where that's too much as well.
I'd argue that 16 is too much on that front as well. And that sport is now also enduring a battle here that I think it ultimately will lose, and for the worse off. I think 12 is you landed at the irony here. Keep going, GP. The irony here is that you've got 2 numbers in 2 different sports with vastly different seasons and just the way that they're built. And the fan bases, for the most part, college football is a little more splintered. But people are like, okay, 12, I see how it works. You're not going to give the auto bias to the 4 conference champions. This upcoming season, you should have the perfect formula. And in basketball, you have 68. So right now we're in this moment where we have these postseason formats where so many people are like, yes, this is what we want. This is what we want. And the alleged grownups in charge, tasked with doing whatever should theoretically be best for the sport, just seems so hell-bent on saying, nope, not good enough. Got to keep going more. And it's just wild that that's the place that we find ourselves in.
Yeah, I guess I would say to that, I don't know what the perfect number is for football. I don't think we've had enough experience with that yet to know, but I know it's more than 2 and I know it's more than 4, right? It might be fewer than 16. You might be right, but I'm willing to go too far as opposed to just stay at 4 and pretend that's a good number. It's not. If we got to bring it back sometime, happy to that. I don't know where the number. And on the men's basketball side, I actually don't think 68 is perfect. I know you don't either. 64 to me is perfect, but we're never going backwards. So we just this is where you and I and Seth Davis kind of got caught in it a little bit. Like he was of the opinion of like, how did everybody just decide 68 is perfect? And my response to that is we didn't. We think 64 is perfect and 68 is closer to 64 than 72 or 76. We're just trying to stay as close to 64 as we can. That's why we've settled on 68. But if you take it down to 67, we'll settle on 67.
You bet.
Just keep going backwards. We'll keep settling until we get to 64. But 68 is the best we're going to do.
If you went to 69, I'd be open to it just for the jokes, but I won't go more than that.
I'm open-minded about it. I'm trying to be a little more open-minded. So I don't know. I agree with you. Expanding the men's college basketball tournament impact negatively the regular season in a way that college football expansion to date has not negatively impacted that regular season. But there's a sweet spot for it, and on the college basketball side, at least, I think we've gone past it. As for the arguments that you hear from Charlie Baker or anybody else, I say this as respectfully. Like, I'm long past my days of everybody's stupid and everybody's an idiot. Like, their arguments don't even make sense to me. Like, they don't even have good arguments on their side. Like, if this were a court case and they were and we were in court and they're trying to make their case for expanding the NCAA tournament, I'd say, all right, Your Honor, let them go. I'll listen. And I'd just sit there like this. And then when they got through, I'd say, we rest our case because I don't even feel like I need to say anything because they didn't say anything. Like, I don't even know why I need to argue with them because they didn't make a good, compelling argument. I can make a million compelling arguments about why we don't need to expand further. And my point is, when I hear the people who are arguing in favor of current expansion, I don't think they make good arguments. They might be smart people, but they're not making good arguments. They might be smart people, but they are misguided on this topic. They might be smart people who are compromised. Like, I don't think Greg Sankey's an idiot. Like, I don't think you can get to run the SEC by being an idiot. I think he's wildly misguided on this topic, but I understand why he is. He's working for him. He's working for his league. Like, if you made me run the SEC, I might be trying to shape arguments the way Greg Sankey is trying to shape arguments. I just don't think in this particular subject, he's doing a good job. And I don't think anybody in favor of expansion has done a good job of explaining why they actually want to do it. They have their reasons, but every one of them can get swatted out of the air. You've done it yourself in column form. Every one of their reasons can get swatted out of the air pretty easily. It doesn't take a genius to find holes in their logic.
Yeah, we'll link that in the pod description. We talked about it when we broached this topic a month ago on the show, but in July I wrote a pretty lengthy column that, as GP said, swatted down a lot of the talking points. A lot of them just frankly built on castles of sand. If that. I will say one thing. Now, this is single sourced, but I did have one conference commissioner tell me earlier this year, and I haven't asked Sankey about this, but this is in his defense and something that makes him, at least it runs a little bit counter to the narrative. So I'll just at least pass this along because I haven't heard this discussed publicly. But I was told that Sankey has expressed that if there is a situation in which expansion would lead to a dilution in NCAA tournament units and or would actually be an outright losing financial proposition for the NCAA, then he would not endorse expanding the tournament at the financial expense of that. Now, I'll be clear. This is one conference commissioner who told me that, guessing based off of a conversation he had with Sankey, which, if true, would be welcome because it's not just Sankey. Petiti is and Yormark, Petiti with the Big Ten and Yormark with the Big 12 have been as aggressive on this as anyone. And there's others, like, you know, there are commissioners of multi-bid leagues that are obviously endorse this because their thinking is, all right, if we went to 72 or 76, you know, we get one or more of our schools in. And in some years, yeah, that's probably going to happen. But you're nuts if you think that this is going to be an every year thing where your programs are going to benefit from this. I've looked at how the trends have worked over the past decade, and I don't think that's the case. I did want to bring up two more things. One, the reason why this happened today is the Division I Board of Directors meets tomorrow, and that's I guess a quarterly meeting. And so this just needed to be an answer in to determine whether or not, like, theoretically, if they decided, okay, we're going to go to 76, the board of directors has to approve that. And so they needed to meet today to figure out, okay, for sure, like, we're not expanding for 2026 at minimum. Yes. Okay, cool. So that's why I came in today. I do think the board of directors might adjust something with NCAA tournament units, which is way in the weeds there. But, you know, this is stuff that commissioners and leagues really care about a ton. So we might have an update on that later this week. What we're also probably going to have on Tuesday is a decision on governance structure in college athletics. And I am very aware that this kind of topic can make a lot of people go, but it does matter in this regard because you've got the Power Four conferences that are trying to essentially switch over the governance model, one that would give them 65% weighted voting on all NCAA committees. So the men's basketball oversight committee and any committee across the board would have representation from the Power Four conferences. It's never been like that in the history of the NCAA. And so obviously you have all these other leagues that are fighting against this. And so Tuesday is a relatively important day for the future of college athletics. And the timing of staying at 68, I think, is interesting on the eve of that decision coming in because, you know, obviously every league, every mid-major league is fighting against this because their belief in talking to a few people in those leagues over the past few weeks is, you know, it is power consolidation of four conferences, maybe the Pac-12. We'll see what they're even designated as going forward. And they're doing it like they're trying to say this is how the NCAA will be progressing, but really it's allowing them to truly take over college athletics at a level which has never been had before, and really will and could have profound effects. Now, some of those effects I actually think can be very positive, but others can be devastating for the majority of leagues. And if you've got a 65% share on every single committee, then you've already had everything tilted in your favor up to this point. It will be even more so tilted in your favor. And that's why, alarm bells are ringing on this topic. It's why they think, with this kind of influence, it only increases the chances that eventually the tournament will expand. So it's a big week in NCAA athletics. I think most people don't realize just what's happening with this board of directors meeting on Tuesday, but that's a biggie. And so we won't get too into the weeds on that, but I at least wanted to bring that up, that today's decision comes in advance of what could be the latest transformational shift in governance structure. But nonetheless, like, these are the kind of decisions that get made in the thick of off seasons, in the thick of summers, where they will impact significant stories that we talk about on this podcast that will lead television shows over the next 6 months, 1 year, 2 year, 5 years. So just keep an eye out on that. We'll have more on that on the site as it develops later this week.
Some housekeeping items, I believe, because this is sort of I don't want to call it an emergency podcast. Ain't nothing emergency about it. Like, nobody's
We just
died.
wanted to say, we wanted to say hi. Give me your housekeeping.
Been a minute. It's been a minute since we've done a live episode like this. We want to jump on, but this will fall in between, and we didn't know this as we were recording them, but this will fall in between a couple of episodes of our summer shoot around series. The Purdue episode, starring 5-time Big Ten Coach of the Year Matt Painter, that dropped on Monday morning. Then this drops on Monday afternoon. And then on Wednesday, we'll have our next summer shoot around series episode, and that'll be on UConn. And I'll be joined by the Field of 68's Rob Doster. How about that?
Stuff. Yeah, that's good. I listened. I was strolling the beaches of the Atlantic Ocean, and I listened to you and Fanta. I queued it up, and he did. I gave John a call this morning just to say, hey, thanks for doing that. I haven't listened to the Houston one because I did it. I don't need to listen to it. And I haven't listened to the Evan one or the Matt one. I did link up with Nada before we went live. He said Painter was awesome, which is no surprise. That's why I reached out. I won't spoil it, but we have at least one more coach that we typically don't do coaches because, frankly, most often coaches are not going to be candid. They're going to be fine, but they're not going to really pop beyond the audience of their own fan base. But Painter is genuinely one of the 5 best on the record coaches in the sport. And in fact, he almost never asks to go off the record. He's like Izzo in that regard. Yeah. And so I knew he'd be great. I heard he was great. I haven't listened to the show yet, but I know Purdue fans were all too happy. You had to do it, one, because of my vacation, 2, because I think it's reduced now. I think you're like 31% Boilermaker. Maybe it's increased. Maybe
I will say this for any Purdue fans that are, as I'm diving into this Purdue episode, getting ready to talk to Matt, like, among the things that have happened, I don't just change my opinion as it pertains to the top 25 and 1. Like, I just don't wake up in July and be like, you know what? I think I've got Clemson too low. I need to move them up today. I just decide. I don't do that. Doesn't mean I shouldn't. It just means that I don't. But as I'm going through, so at some point back in April, Purdue gets a commitment from Omer Meyer, an Israeli guard. Well, at the time, I can text Jonathan Gavoni and see what's up, but does this really move the needle in any sort of meaningful way? And I don't think I impacted the top 25 and 1 because of that commitment. I don't think that moved the needle. Well, then he balled out in the FIBA U19 thing. He gets invited to Chris Paul camp. What if this guy's really one of the 5 best freshmen in the country? What if Purdue's got 2 of the best seniors and one of the 5 best freshmen in the entire country? Here's what I'm telling you, Purdue fans, I hear you. What if they just added in the middle of April and none of us really, at least most of us, didn't recognize it in real time? But what if, in addition to bringing back the top 5 scorers from a Sweet 16 team, including 2 All-Americans, 1 in your backcourt, 1 in your front court, you're adding top 5 freshmen, 1-and-done first-round draft pick? Because that might be what they did. I might have them too low. That's what I'm trying to tell you. And so if you want to question my Boilermaker percentage, right now's a good time to do it. I might be down to low 30.
He's back. G Purdue right there. The P stands for Purdue, not Parrish. That's Purdue.
But I feel like I can get back up to about 47% Boilermaker if I just start acting right again.
That's true.
It is weird that I was ride or die with Purdue for 2 straight years while UConn was winning national championships. Okay. I was ride or die with Purdue during the entire UConn dynasty.
Yeah.
I was ride or die with Purdue. Now the Purdue dynasty might be here.
And you're gone. Yeah.
And I'm over here looking at St. John's.
Yeah.
I'm like that meme. that guy, like St. John's is walking by, and I've got my arm around Purdue, but I'm looking at St. John's for some reason. I understand why I'm being questioned. I'm not comfortable with any of this. All right. Yeah. I'm not comfortable with any of this.
Any other housekeeping notes? What
I mean, I feel like
what happened while I was gone. I did not get on social media once. So did anything happen? I'm kind of catching up this morning. 700 emails to go through. That's always fun. Just bring it up. Oh God.
I mean, I don't know if you've heard about this Epstein thing.
I mean, I'm aware of it, but I didn't watch the news once. I don't think that's what we need. That's not the updates I'm looking for. I'm talking about college sports, college basketball. Any other housekeeping notes?
I don't know. I'm not really. Bill Self went to the hospital, but now he's out.
I did see that. Glad that he is out.
Yeah.
I feel like I texted Bill. So I feel like that happened before I left for vacation, but I think he maybe got out of the hospital like last week. So he must have been in for a few days. I don't know.
Yeah. Brock Lesnar's back.
Okay. Brock Lesnar's back. That's good to know.
That Paul Simon documentary on HBO Max is pretty good.
What's up?
The Paul Simon documentary on HBO. I mean, the Billy Joel documentary on HBO Max.
Paul Simon documentary?
Yeah, it's Billy Joel. You could see how. I'll
get to the Billy Joel. I watched. Let's see. What did I watch? I watched Happy Gilmore 2.
Yeah, not bad. It was fine. I don't understand all the pushback. It was exactly what you want it to be.
Was there pushback?
People are like, this is the dumbest movie ever. And I'm like, the whole premise is about a hockey player becoming the best golfer in the world. It's kind of like dumb out of hand.
I liked it more than I thought I was going to. And I mean, I don't think we're really like spoiling stuff here, but at the end of the movie, if you still haven't watched it, like just hit the 30-second button like 2 times and get 60 seconds ahead of this. The whole like, the live golf stuff, like I don't know, the last scene with the pop-up green seems ridiculously stupid to me. Yes, and Haley Joel Osment being the antagonist was also written himself. But for the most part, I thought it was good. And Will Zalatoris I thought was awesome. I thought he was the best in terms of all, like Scotty Scheffler poked fun at himself. That was great. But Zalatoris being the kid caddy grown up and being a total asshole, I thought was amazing. I thought
Zalatoris was good. I thought Scotty was good. I might be the only one who laughed at this, but I thought the out of place, that's what she said, Xander Schauffele jokes. Like, I like that. I like the idea of a guy thinking he's being funny, but just missing at every turn. Badly. And so I like that. I thought Travis Kelce was good. I thought Bad Bunny was great.
Bad Bunny was probably the best part of the movie.
Bad Bunny was great.
He was probably the best part of the movie. My wife laughed hardest. I love how we just pivoted into Happy Gilmore 2 reviews. My wife laughed the hardest when they were all trying to like get the car started, and then Buscemi got in the scene, and like they were like, "What are you doing? This is a family affair." It was very well timed. I thought that was also very good. So
John Daly was good.
Daly was good as expected. Yeah, tons of callbacks, but I thought it was good. I didn't realize there was pushback.
Yeah, there was. I just saw a lot of like, this is dumb, this is stupid, and it came out while we were on vacation, and we didn't want to watch it on iPads, like in hotel beds, all separately.
Yeah,
so I was like, let's just all save it for when we get home. When we get home, we'll watch it. So we got home on like late Sunday night. On Monday night settled in, watched it last Monday night, and perfectly enjoyable 2 hours of family television. Like we had a good time with it. So
Agreed.
Yeah. There's that.
Well, on that note, we did an Airbnb, and to the Airbnb owners that like make sure like that they have a Netflix account, like not that you can't log out, log back in. It's just great to all right. Is there a Netflix account that's like already logged in? So we had it up, and then we got to avoid all that stuff, which was just super appreciated. I watched that. I watched The Accountant 2 better than I watched like 4 movies. Like wife was in bed early, and I can't get to bed too early. I watched The Accountant 2 better than I thought. What else did I watch? I'm halfway through Killers of the Flower Moon. I read the book. I've just taken forever to watch the movie.
God, it's so funny you say that. It took me 3 years to watch that movie.
Well, I'm halfway done. I probably will finish it either tonight or tomorrow, but I started on the last night of vacation.
I had it in my phone for like I might be exaggerating,
In
but
your
like
phone?
longer than a year. It was just sitting in my phone.
You're
And I was
watching
like,
movies on your phone?
I watch movies anywhere. Phone, iPad.
I can't. That's a step too far.
85-inch, whatever you need me on. I can watch it
That,
anywhere.
that I understand. Like a big iPad, if you got to in a pinch. Watching movies on the phone, that's a no-go.
I'm a pretty versatile movie watcher. I can
You
do it
are
however you
no.
want to do
Well,
it.
that's the movie makers are coming for you.
However you want to do it.
That is as offensive as it gets as watching a movie on this. That's as offensive as it gets, I think.
I'm a pretty versatile movie watcher. I can do it however you want to do it. Like you want to do it on an 85-inch, I can do it on an 85-inch. You want to do it on a little iPhone, I can do it on a little iPhone, whatever you need. But I had it for like more than a year, and I would watch it and I'd be like, Jesus Christ, I'm never going to get done with this. And then I would start reading tweets or something. I finally finished it.
First of all, that's ridiculous. You're watching on your phone. How are you reading tweets? On your other phone?
That's the thing. That's the thing.
Are you making it even smaller so the movie's in the top right corner on your phone?
I'll do that. I'll do whatever I need to do. I am
sick.
versatile. I'm a versatile movie watcher. I'll do whatever you need me to do.
The screen's not small enough. I'm gonna shrink it even lower so I can half watch this movie and scroll Twitter at the same time.
I can barely see Leonardo DiCaprio the whole time. I can barely see him the whole time. All right. But that's the thing. I run into this problem. I'm like, do I really want to watch this for the next 7 hours or look at some tweets? so I start looking at tweets and I just could never get through the movie. So then finally at some point this past season, I'm like, I'm going to finish this movie come hell or high water. And I finished it. And you know what? I said as soon as it was done? I was like, damn, that's pretty good. I wish I'd have watched that earlier. That's pretty good film. It is good. It's really good. You're going to enjoy it.
Well, I know I assume there's no plot. I've read the book, so I know what's going to happen.
Oh, hey, listen, we heard you the first time.
Yeah, listen, I read the book, okay? I read the book.
We heard you the first time.
I read the book.
I was going to let you go
one more time. I read the book like 3 years ago, so I forgot.
Congratulations, you read the book. I've read books. I used to read books.
Now
I read tweets. I used to read books. Now I read tweets.
There was one more. I'm blanking on it. I thought it was good. I can't remember what it was. It's been a minute. But anyway, yeah, we had the back-to-back vacation, so we haven't done this. We haven't done the live podcast.
Yeah. So it's good. It's good to see you.
It's good to see you as well. Hey, over under. How many days of the calendar year do you need at the beach? I did 3. I was on the beach for 3 of our days down there, and I hit my quota for the year. We just
did 5 days at the beach. Yeah, it's probably 2 more than I needed.
Yeah.
I don't actually enjoy the beach. We've talked about this before.
I like the ocean. Being in the ocean's fun.
I don't think I set foot in the ocean. I think I might have put my foot in the ocean.
Psychotic. Get out of here, man.
I might have put my foot in the ocean. I don't need to be in the ocean.
What are you doing?
Here's what I like to do. I like to open up my window and look outside and see the ocean, but I don't want to be around it. I just want to look at it. I don't want to touch it. I want to look at it. But we wonderful family vacation. We had an incredible time, but when I am on the beach, the whole time I'm thinking, man, I wish I could think of something else for us to do besides just sit here. That's what I'm thinking the whole time. I'm like, you guys want to go do literally anything other than just sit here on the beach. I don't like sand. I don't like the way it feels.
Oh, it's the whole sand thing, man. And I
don't like.
I had to I'm not complaining, but I'm going to complain. Like we stayed. It was probably like a 10-minute walk from our Airbnb down to the beach in Ocean City, New Jersey. Which, if you have a young family, I genuinely endorse. It's a good spot. It's a dry county, so the boardwalks. Well, no, and that means like the boardwalk's not a disaster. It's not like Wildwood or anything like that. Okay, so it was a good spot. I know you never go dry county, no chance, but it was good. Shouts to Brown's Donuts. They came through, big time spot for sure. But I'd be lugging this. Like I got to take. I'm the dad. I just lugging this thing down, and then you get to the sand and the tires in the sand, and I'm just like dragging.
It's too much.
Dragging this thing like I'm transporting myself to the beaches of Normandy. And then I got to get in. I got to dig it into the sand.
Yes, it's exactly like the beaches of Normandy.
Just put this damn umbrella up because I get all. I'm like dripping in sweat, and that's actually why I love the ocean. I get all this. I'm exhausted. I put on the sun lotion before this. Now I've got little white beads of stuff all over my face. My wife's looking at me like, what the hell's the matter with you? I'm like, what are you talking about? I just set everything up. Just sprint right into the waves. Just got to get in there. I can't believe you don't go to the ocean. I can at least take. You ride the waves, you get a little boogie board action. That's fun. Everything else though.
I'm more of a lazy river guy. Oh, buddy, you put me in a lazy river.
Yeah.
That'll eat up a good 45 minutes.
That's we had there's a little water park there. We did a little lazy river, and the oldest, he went down like the big slides for the first. I was mighty impressed. We did the water park. That was a good time as well. So yeah.
I like a good lazy river. That's me. The whole time I'm outside on vacation, I'm just trying to get through the day. I'm like, well, I guess this lazy river will eat up 45 minutes. And then it'll be time to go to lunch. I'm just trying to eat up the days, man.
That sounds like a hell of a vacation. How can I get through the day to get to my next meal?
That's what I think. That's what I think about the whole time. How do I get to dinner? I'm just constantly trying to get to the dinner table. I really enjoy dinners, and then I enjoy coming back to the room, and I enjoy everybody getting into bed and like us turning on the TV.
What?
Do what?
Just you enjoy coming back to the room?
Yeah. I don't like being outside. I don't like being outside. This is what I'm trying to tell you.
In your step, walking back to the room?
Outside, the only time I like being outside is to play golf. That's it. If I'm not playing golf outside, I don't want to be outside. That period. So every minute I'm outside not playing golf, I'm trying to find my path back home.
Man. You know what? I think a lot of people listening will identify with that.
But I think a lot of people listening have turned this off.
No, I think we got some folks that said this is what they really came for the pod for.
Well, we'll see about that.
Listen, enjoy this. We got a number of shows where it's either me or GP. Next one, sorry, spoiler, I ain't on that. And then the one after that, spoiler, GP ain't on that one. Yeah. So we've got some shoot-arounds we will jointly be on.
We're just catching up right now. We're not going to be talking too often lately. So we're just
a little catch-up. That's all it is. Just a little catch-up. If you made it this far, the auctions to win the 3 bonus episodes, those are live. I wish I had thought about this before we went live, but we didn't know we were going to talk about this. We'll make sure we'll do it in episodes to come. Get a little QR code on the screen and all that. There are 3 separate eBay live auctions for the bonus episodes. Why are there 3 separate ones? Because they're going to be 3 different winners. So pick whatever one you want. We will look for the Ion CBB podcast Twitter handle. Do that. See if I can convince Parrish to tweet about this at least once in the next week and a half. Check his Twitter feed. I will send it out as well. You follow on Blue Sky. I'm still active there. I'll put it there. You've got time. The auctions expire, I believe. You know what? Let's make sure this is accurate, Parrish. You didn't respond to the email chain yet. It expires August 14th. There are 3 different ones. They expire at 5:05, 6 p.m., and 7 p.m. Eastern on August 14th. So you've got time. But again, these are for the episodes for the teams that are not already predetermined for the summer shoot-around. And stay tuned. We'll be pushing this frequently. And you win, you get to ask a few questions, maybe dictate some of the episode's content, and we'll take it there. And you know what? Classic us. Said this would be a 20-minute show, 43 minutes and counting. But that is a show.
I had no idea we were going to talk about Killers of the Flower Moon today. But I'm glad you brought it up. Because I had a similar experience.
I'll wrap up the rest tonight. The Accountant 2, Amazon Prime. It's not going to knock your socks. I just thought it was better than I was expecting. That's all. What's the other movie I watched? I'm going to text you eventually. I can't remember what it was. It wasn't that good if I can't remember.
I give 2 thumbs up to Billy Joel.
Yeah, I got to get to that too.
2-part documentary on HBO Max. It was actually interesting. Like I knew all the songs. I grew up with them. I don't think I had a great grasp for his story, his entire story. I knew the highlights, but not the entire story. It was interesting. We enjoyed that over the weekend. So anyway, let's go. I gotta go. Shouts to Devin Downey. Shouts to Chester, South Carolina. Shouts to Terry Teagle. He's a legend. Huck Larnell. Thank you guys once again for watching, listening to the Ion College Basketball Podcast. If you're not subscribed, please go.
Sinners. I watched Sinners. It was so good.
Oh, Sinners is good.
It was so good. That's Sinners what it was. Come on, Matt.
Sinners set. Right here in the Mississippi Delta. I'm not actually in the Mississippi
really
Delta.
Good.
But Selton Clarksdale, which is, 2 hours south of me.
Really, I just interrupted the shouts, but I just popped. Extremely good movie. Yeah.
Sinners was great.
Yep.
Sinners was great. Let's just leave it there. Sinners was great. Okay, Huck Larnell. If you're not subscribed, please go subscribe anywhere you subscribe to podcasts.
Now, Michael B. Jordan, hell of an actor. He really, started on The Wire, just hell of an actor.
Michael B. Jordan?
Yeah.
He's terrific.
Yeah. As opposed to what? Michael J. Jordan?
That's just got to be. I always thought, like, what do you do if your name is Mike? Like, I would have not been Michael Jordan at a very early age. I'd have been B. Jordan.
Okay.
I'd have just been B. They'd have just been introduced. And now starring in Sinners, B. Jordan. I'd have just been
We can wrap the show, but that was my test. If I wanted to keep GP going for another 7 minutes, I
just say things, just randomly say things in the middle of me talking.
It's going to take me months to get over the fact that you were watching a movie in the top right corner of your phone.
I'm a versatile movie watcher. I can do it however you want to do it. You pick how you want to do it. That's the way I can watch this movie with you. You pick. I'm pretty versatile. All right.
We'll talk to you again soon.
Bye-bye.